Welcome back to the Osikona Hour. I am your host, Alejandra Fajardo, and as you can tell, I'm in a good mood today, but also this solo dolo episode, which those things aren't opposite of each other. I don't know why I framed it that way, but anyways, this was going to be a Knights of the Seven Kingdoms recap and review, which it kind of still is, but it's mostly going to be a solo dolo kind of smash up of what exactly has been going on these past couple days. But yeah, which is going to be Knights of the Seven Kingdoms because as you know, that was released this last Sunday, first episode. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that right now. We'll save that for later in the video. Anyways, why I'm like so happy right now. Okay, so you might have seen the last couple videos. If not, I was for a long time trying to get a job as a bartender, and I'm very happy to announce that I think I got it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. I want to talk about it immediately. I went to seven bars, some mix of bars, wine bars, and breweries this past week. Not this last weekend, but the weekend before. And I was just handing out my resumes, making small talk, just putting myself out there as one does when trying to get a job. And yeah, it was tough. I mean, it was like the tough part wasn't going to all these places, blah, blah. That was like very fun and easy. The tough part was just waiting around and just being like, well, I hope someone will take me because I don't have any bartending experience. I don't have any like service work experience, but I am a teacher and I do meet the needs of 26 customers every single day from the hours between 8:30 and 3 p.m. So there's that, which I've heard from previous bartenders who are also teachers that it's very transferable. So I thought it was fine. Well, I knew I was fine. So yeah. So anyway, so I wasn't hearing back and I was kind of feeling down on myself. I was like, oh no, like, no one's going to hire me. I'm like, please. I was like, I'm doing everything I can. I went to 7 bars. I'm like emailing and calling, blah, blah, blah. And then that was Friday night. And I was like having a little moment. Saturday morning, I'm in bed and I'm just like, I'm laid up in bed, like just on my phone, like morning, like 10 a.m. and I get a text and I'm like immediate. And it's from nobody texts me. No random number ever texts me. And then I saw it and I was like, oh my God. And you can imagine what that text said, but whatever. The point was like, oh, so I got your resume. We have these shifts open. And I was like, oh my God. Wait, does that mean I'm already hired? But yeah, anyways, it's in this, I won't say the brewery just yet. I will eventually. Because I haven't signed anything yet. So nothing is set in stone. I've learned through my 25 years on this earth that's never, ever final until your name's on that dotted line. Nothing's ever final until your name's on the dotted line. Even then, sometimes it's not, even when it is on the dotted line. So I've learned to not count my eggs before they hatch. Yeah. But yeah, so that's happening. Yeah, super excited. It was a quick phone interview and I'm great at interviews. So I wasn't tripping on any of that. What I was kind of tripping on, I was like, well, I don't have any experience. But like I said, I'm a teacher. Who cares? The thing is like, it's not even about beer. It's about service. And what greater service work is there out there than being a teacher? Right? Right. Anyways, so today was like my first little like day. So okay. So not like actual, like obviously I haven't signed anything. It was just like, we'll see how you do type shit. And I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. Okay. So let's go back. So the first time I ever mentioned it on this podcast, I said, I watched Coyote Ugly, the movie with Tyra Banks and like so-and-so and so-and-so from like 2000, whatever. I watched Coyote Ugly. It's about the girls that like are bartenders and in New York, and then the protagonist of the story moves from New Jersey to New York to pursue a singing career or songwriting career, and then she gets a job at the bar Coyote Ugly, whatever. So if you've seen that movie, there's the scene where she's like, where the owner of the bar is like, all right, come by on Friday at 6 and we'll see how you do. That was essentially what that was today, guys. And I'm like, the parallels are like way too good. Like, oh my God, you guys don't know how excited I am. Oh, I've never been this expressive on the pod before. Anyways, yeah, so that was I literally had like my little tryout. And it was fine. It didn't go like how it did in the movie. Well, thank God, because she like hella like doesn't do good. I mean, she does fine. I mean, whatever. Coyote Ugly, who cares? See the movie. It's on Tubi. But so yeah, so I had my little tryout today. It went fine. I poured beer, I poured wine. I had the POS system. I can say I can use a POS system now. They order food and I put the little pizza and then there's a buzzer that you have to do it. And it was so fun. I was literally like cooking mama. I thought I was gonna I thought it was gonna be so dreadful, and I love it. Like when they're like, all right, well you can go like it's around like 6:30, you can go home. I was like, wait, but I want to stay. They're so fun. But yeah, but I did have to record. I did want to record this pod episode, so I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, I'll go home. And yeah, I was having a ball. I literally was having a ball. Like it was so, like it was literally Cooking Mama simulator. It was like Bartender Simulator, because yeah, I don't know how else to explain it other than like it felt like a little game. It felt like I was a little character, like a little sim, just like ding, 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 ding. And I was clocking into my little shift. But yeah, I was there for like 2 hours, like whatever. Oh my God. And then it started to get busy. And then I was like also like juggling hella customers, and it was like, oh, do, 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 do. And like there was only a couple times where I didn't know what to do. Obviously it's my first day, so like who cares? So I was like, but yeah, so fun. And I even had like a rude customer even, and I thought I was gonna care and be more like offended, but I didn't. And it was like kind of like exciting even to have a rude customer. I was like, oh my God, it's happening. And I was like, oh my God, you're so rude. And like, you're doing the most right now. And like, I don't care. I don't know. Like, cause I was literally like in my feelings journaling. I was like, Dear Diary type shit. And I was like, I'm kind of feeling nervous. Like, I really don't like feeling like someone is disrespecting me, blah, blah, blah. It really hurts my feelings. I don't know how I'm going to like juggle this in the service work, blah, 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 blah. Like I want to figure out some coping strategies. I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, I can try this and that, do a script, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that. And then I had a rude customer, and it literally didn't bother me a single bit. Like it was like, I didn't like, no, it was like nothing. It was literally, and I was like, so this is the worst it's gonna, obviously it could be worse. And I'm sure there's gonna be some situations where it's like, where I'm sure it might be triggering or something, but I'm like, I hella do not care that you're feeling some type of way. Cause I was like, I'm like, it's nothing personal to me. I was like, you know, like it was nothing personal. So it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And I didn't put those two things together when I was journaling. So there was that. And yeah, it was kind of fun. The whole situation, and just doing the little thing. It's like the little POS system. People don't tell you how fun it is. They leave that part out. But yeah, and like, I'm not serving food. I'm just serving beer. My biggest qualms right now are like memorizing which beers are which, because there's like, you have the beer and then you have the style. Like the beer might be like West Berkeley Pilsner, and then the style might be Pilsner Black or Black Pilsner. And then the customer might say Black Pilsner, and I'll be like, that's hella not on the POS system. But what they're meaning is, what is on the POS system is the name of that beer. So you have to like know them. And I'm going to do, and as we speak, Michael is doing the Quizlet for me right now. So after I record this, I'm going to go Quizlet the fuck out of that. So yeah, super exciting. Everybody is so nice. It's like a super like vibey like spot of town. I hella feel like I low-key feel like I'm in my like, how do I explain this to you without like sounding super like cringe? like I'm kind of in my in my era right now. I don't know which era it is necessarily, but it's certainly one of the cooler ones. Because I have my day job as a teacher, which is already cool. Now, obviously we don't yet. Yeah, I haven't signed anything. But at the end of the day, I still got my little 2 hours, so I don't care. I'm like, as far as I know, I'm putting down on my resume. Nothing. If they're like, oh, sorry, this came up, blah blah blah. I'm like, hey, I still poured it up. I still learned the POS system. I'm putting that on my resume. And then I have this, and then I have my podcast, and then I have my mail club, and then I have my magazine, and then I have my little shop. And I'm like, wait, this is so exciting. Like little me would have thought this would be so cool. And honestly, me right now thinks this is so cool. So yeah, needed to say that. But yeah, no, I'm like, I've been yearning or the word isn't yearning. You yearn for like people or whatever. But I've been like wanting this so bad because when I was, oh my God, okay, I'm talking too much. Whatever. We'll leave it at, I just wanted this so bad because in college, like as many of you probably are too, we're like doing clubs, we're doing extracurriculars, we're in this and that, maybe had a sport, blah, blah, blah. Your schedule is always packed. You always had something. And obviously that does get stressful at times. And it's like, oh my God, but it's still at the end of the day, super stimulating. And that's what I was losing out of, that's what I was seeking out of this job. And it certainly is very stimulating in the best way possible. And like, I'm gonna be tired. Yes. But when you're like, if you're like an extrovert and you like, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, where you're needing that sort of stimulation from like one-on-one interactions, like you have the energy. And that's what I'm kind of worried about too, because I get off at 10 and I'm like, I'm gonna be like too amped up, low-key. But I'm sure, and then I have to wake up at 8:30. But I'm sure it will all work out like most things always do for me. Okay. But yeah, so yeah, I'm so happy. I was dying to share literally I was like, I wanted to go on the pod immediately when that happened because I was so excited. But I wanted things to like come about as they came. Yes. Okay. So on to Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I took my notes. Where are they? Excuse me. Okay. So I'm just going to give a really quick really quick rundown of Night of the Seven Kingdoms, some interesting bits, and then hopefully I'll have 2 guests. So there'll be 3 people on the podcast to further digest this and recap it. But yeah, I'm literally in such a good mood. I hope this translates into the video, and I hope you're also in a very good mood as well. But yeah. Once I sign the paper, I'm gonna tell y'all where it is. So then people will come by and give and order some refreshments. Okay. So, Night of the Seven Kingdoms is categorized. I didn't know this until I was researching this the day that it came out. So, it's a fantasy drama, obviously, because it's in the Game of Thrones universe, but it's a comedy. And once I watched the episode, I was like, this is hardly drama. It's mostly comedy. Obviously, it's just the first episode, but I'm like, this is all comedy. Literally, I was like, back to back jokes on this episode. And it was kind of like jarring at first because when I think of Game of Thrones and when you think of House of the Dragon, even more so when you think of House of the Dragon, it's so serious and dramatic and like high stakes. There were very little jokes in House of the Dragon. And it was just so emotionally impactful that this huge difference between Night of the Seven Kingdoms was kind of like a whiplash. I was like, ugh. Like, it was kind of like getting a little like annoyed and pissed off. No, well, not pissed off, but just like, oh my God. I was like, what are they doing? And then I realized I was like, okay, this obviously is not a drama. this is a comedy and you have to judge it as so. And then that changed my point of view a lot more, because I was just like, I had the taste of House of the Dragon, and I had that lingering, and so it made Nine of Seven Kingdoms very bitter and yuck. But now that I'm like, okay, yes, this is fully a comedy. This is nothing like they've done before. Fully comedy. Was very entertaining in some respects. Okay. So as you know, Knives of Seven Kingdoms tells the story of the small folk, as opposed to Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, which are mostly about kings and queens and what do they call them? Not small, like highborn. Yeah, about the highborn. And so this is following the story of Dunk, which he'll be known as Sir Duncan the Tall. And it's based off the short novella, I believe, or short story of Tales of Dunk and Egg. And we have the showrunner, who is Ira Parker, and he produced House of the Dragon and wrote some of the episodes. I don't know exactly which episodes. I didn't research that far. But, like, I loved all the episodes. There's only a couple that I didn't like. But yeah, I mean, as a whole, I loved House of the Dragon. So I was like, okay, this is cool. And, like, he wrote this first episode, but it was directed by Owen Harris, who directed quite a few of Black Mirror episodes, notably San Junipero, Striking Vipers, and Be Right Back. Which, I mean, I'll say this about all Black Mirror episodes, they're each in their own little worlds. But, like, yeah, that's what I noticed about all of these, is that they construct their own little worlds. There's a lot of world building in these 1 hour long episodes. So I thought that was interesting. I'm like, I wonder how that will translate to the show. Anyways, something to keep in mind. I loved all those episodes of Black Mirror too. So I was like, I was pretty excited. And then we have a cold open with Duncan with his 3 horses. He's digging a grave. He's burying his mentor. And then and he's like talking to himself or talking to the horse. And then I was like seeing this TikTok, and it was saying that, like, in the novella, in the story, Duncan talks a lot or there's a lot of inner thoughts, inner monologue. And so to translate that obviously to the screen, you need to be talking to somebody. He talks to his horses a lot throughout this episode, which I think was cute. I thought that was charming. I mean, this whole episode really felt like it kind of felt like a little like a teen coming of age movie where, like, Duncan is like the nerdy new kid in the block. Like, that's what it kind of felt like a little bit. And I'll elaborate more on that on the future recap episode. I just wanted to say that first off, just to get that off. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So I'm not going to go super detailed. Talks to himself. There's a smash cut so this is where immediately it's like, oh, this is going to be a funny little show. There's a smash cut of his mentor smacking the fuck out of him. For, like, whatever reason, or, like, disciplining him, so to speak. And yeah, like I said, I've never seen Game of Thrones or the Game of Thrones, like, world in this light, and it was very jarring at first, and it was kind of a little, like, irritating just how much of that they were doing. But obviously, like, you got to judge it by what it is, which is a comedy, and so yeah, so it was a lot more fun. Anyway, so yeah, he grabs his 3 horses, makes his way to the Ashford tourney. Come to find out, a tourney, once you lose, you give up your horses, your sword, and then some, like, a little bit of cash, or, like, gold, so to speak. And then we meet Egg, because Dunk does a little pit stop at, like, a tavern or, like, a bed and breakfast type thing. And he's so precious. He's so precious. And I'm like, oh my God, I think he's like 8. I think he's like actually 8. Like, this character and the person and the kid that plays it are the same age, and he's so precious. And there's a scene where he's Duncan then goes to look at his horses and he sees Egg and he has like he's playing pretend with all his gear and he's on top of the horse and it's so precious. And I'm like, oh, there's nothing like this in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. There's no like little glimpse into childhood innocence in that way. So that was really cute. I really like that. But yeah. So then he makes his way to Ashford. Egg's like, take me with you. He's like, no. And he makes his way and he's like, okay, he goes to like the head honcho or like the game master, whoever. And he's like, I want to be a knight. And he's like, I want to play in the tourney. He's like, well, you have to be knighted. And then he's like lies and says, well, I was knighted actually before he died. My mentor, Sir something of whatever. And the guy's giving him a hard time. And he's like, I don't know what that is. And he's like explaining all this. And then he starts laughing in his face. He's like, I'm just kidding. I don't care. Like, he's like, yeah, if you want to do it, you have to do X, Y, and Z. And he's like, okay. Anyways, so yeah. And then he goes and then he's just walking around the halls of his high school, essentially, which is, in this case, the Ashford tourney. And he like talks to the mean girls who are the redheads. I'm telling you, this is exactly like a high school movie. Like, he's the new kid and he's like walking around the halls. He gets like picked on by like the head girls, and it's literally, I don't know how it could be interpreted in a different way. Like, I don't know, like that's exactly what it is. Like, he was a nerd. He was walking the Ashford tourney, i.e. the high school halls. He sees the mean girls. Then he sees the jocks who are like, hey, is this guy bothering you? Like, is this guy bothering you type? Like, it's literally, I will, yeah, whatever. I would not be surprised if he hella comes out if like Ira Parker is like, yeah, this is literally what I was like doing. I watched High School Musical or something, where I watched whatever movie before writing the script. Because, yeah, it's giving that. Anyways, and then, whatever. Okay, that'll be in the next episode. Then he goes to a theater. Oh, wait, that was also a detail for next episode. Moving on. Okay, so he has a party. He goes to like a tent with like, and it's like the ancestor of like Robert Baratheon. And it's kind of interesting because he's not, like, I would take him as more of a, like, he's very eccentric, so to speak. And if you've seen the episode, you know what I mean. And he's like dancing, hella kind of eyeing Duncan. He like wants him for sure, right? Like, I wasn't the only, like, that was the vibe that we were supposed to pick up. Anyways, so he's like talking to Baratheon. I forgot what is his title or like what his actual name is. But the Baratheon of that story did not see, well, technically I did see a Targaryen, but we did not see or no, it wasn't the Targaryen. No, it was the Targaryen, the one with the short hair in the trailers. Whatever. We didn't see him there. I was hoping to see him, but we didn't. Okay. Yeah, but him, Duncan Baratheon are forever, truly. By the end of the night, Duncan has the Baratheon crown with the antlers, with the stag antlers, and like to give you an idea of what kind of party this was. And then at like 2 a.m. or whatever, 3 a.m. whenever everyone's going home or going to sleep, Baratheon takes the crown, he puts it, and he's like, all right, everybody go home. Or he's like, all right, I'll see you later. And then finally Duncan makes his way back home makes his way to his little tent area, or where, I mean, he didn't even have a tent, where his little, like, where all his stuff was, where he left it in the bushes. And who does he see hiding, or not hiding, or like, who does he see having a fire next to all his stuff? None other than Egg. And he's made, I don't know, I can't remember. He like kind of like made dinner for him type thing. So sweet. And he was like, it was different where he didn't say tent, but he was like, I would have set up your tent, but you didn't have one. And it was so sweet. It was so precious, and I love him so much. But yeah, cute little kid. But yeah. And that's pretty much it. They fall asleep under the stars. And Duncan's like, well, I need to take you back home. And he's like, well, you can't or you'll miss the turning. He's like, okay, good point. And he says to him, he's like, all right, well, you're going to be my squire and I can't pay you, but I'll make sure you're protected and fed, not well fed. And I won't beat you unless you deserve it, which is more than what was said for him. So there's that. And I don't think he's actually going to hit him. Who could hit that cute little face? But yeah, and that was The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode 1, directed or written by Ira Parker. Pretty cute little episode. We'll see how it goes. Can I just say, I love Game of Thrones. I love House of the Dragon. And I love, like, I just wanted more of that. And I know it's not like anything like that. And they're not trying to pretend or not trying to give you the slightest idea that it is going to be anything like that. So I know I'm not going to get that, but I need to get that off my chest. Anyways, it is past my bedtime. Currently 7, well, it's not past my bedtime, but I am starting to get sleepy. I worked a shift after all. But yeah, that was it. That was pretty much the episode for today. That's all I had planned. As always, leave a comment if you are compelled to do so. Subscribe. Check out the Pico Pixie Mail Club if you want to receive a letter, print, sticker sheet, and sticker to your mailbox every month for $10 a month. Link is in the description. Magazines are live on a coffee site, also linked in the description. Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1 and Volume 2. And look out for a restock on that shop. I'll let you know when it's live. Thank you so much for listening, and hopefully I get the job.